What is going on, fam? It's your boy Papa Swolio, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Papa Swolio. If you want your question featured right here on the show, just drop your question in the comments down below with the hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and I'll get to it in an upcoming episode. And also make sure that you follow me on all platforms, Swolenormous on Instagram, so you could jump into those questions in my stories, as well as Swolenormousx.com for all the details on memberships. Swole fam comment of the day. This one's from Diane, and she says, Swole fam comment of the day. This one's from Diane, and she says, Merry Christmas, Swole fam. Merry Christmas, Diane. I am a new member of a few weeks, and I'm loving the support of this family. My husband and I arrived in Kauai last night from Arizona, and I am determined to return in better shape than when I left. Imagine my surprise to see the gym at the resort was packed on Christmas morning. While most are on vacation, I put in an hour and came out dripping in sweat with the humidity. Make it a great day. Well, fuck yes, Diane. I'm glad you made it a great day too, and I'm glad you got your pump on Christmas. Did anyone else train on Christmas? I did some stretching, I did some meditation, but I did not pump on Christmas because my gyms were closed. I was with family, so shame, but I'm going to pump right after this episode. Did you pump on Christmas? Did you? Drop in the comments. We are coming up on New Year's, so I hope you had a great holiday, whatever you did. But remember that Swolenormousx.com is your one-stop shop for everything, including all the private access content in Swole TV. So if you enjoy Nuts on Chin content, driving while gaining, all of those things will be exclusively inside Swole TV. So I will be posting a lot here as always with Ask Papa Swolio episodes and with some front-facing content. But if you want exclusive, unbridled access to everything that Swolenormous TV has to offer, go check out Swolenormousx.com, and all memberships get access to Swole TV. It's been a while since we did an Ask Papa Swolio. We're ramping these back up, so again, drop your question down below with those hashtags, and I will feature you in an upcoming episode if you ask the good questions. You know what I'm saying? First question is from Nerdy Diva Nikki on Instagram. Papa Swolio, how does one prevent tension headaches after cardio? Well, you shouldn't be having headaches before cardio, during cardio, or after cardio. So it's probably sleep, it's probably dehydration. Of course, I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to sit here and diagnose exactly what's going on, but it's probably one of those things. A lot of people have issues with headaches from just simply dehydration. Question from Adrian RB. Papa Swolio, my significant other constantly argues that since water is the main ingredient in most drinks, that his body is getting enough water just through those and he doesn't have to drink just water. That's ridiculous. Drink water. You don't need extra calories. You don't need artificial sweeteners. The problem with all these extra additives in other fluids is the side effects that they have in your body. They can cause joint pain. They can cause insomnia. They can cause all these other issues, bloating, dizziness, fatigue, because you might have sensitivities to all those artificial garbage, flavorings, sugars, all the other crap in drinks. You need water. I don't care how much coffee you're drinking. Coffee is a diuretic. I don't care how much fruit juice you're drinking. There's sugar. Soda, it's sugar. You need just straight fucking water. If you want to put a little Celtic sea salt or something in it, that's okay if you're exercising, but you just need water. That's really what you need. Drink tea. Drink coffee. Quality is always number one. There's quality coffee, there's crappy coffee. There's quality tea, there's crappy tea. There's good water, and there's dirty fucking polluted poison water. So make sure you're drinking the right stuff. Question from Kathleen A. Papa Swolio, so I heard in one of your videos that bad sleep can cause blotting. Blotting? You mean bloating? I don't know if this question is asked properly. What else could it cause? And what are some tricks to get a better good night's rest? Okay, so I'm going to assume you said bloating, and I don't know if I ever said that bad sleep can cause bloating. It can. A lot of things can cause bloating. If you are not getting proper sleep, stress hormones are going to be elevated. Your body is not going to function properly. A lot of bad decisions are also made from lack of quality sleep. If you're not getting good sleep, you're going to make poor food choices. You're going to have more sugar cravings. You're going to have less desire to exercise. You're going to have poor recovery from training. So it's very, very important to get a good night's sleep, and I am working on that every single day, and that's my focus now, and it has been for the last couple weeks, is to get back on a better sleep schedule, because it's very easy to fall off, especially with the holidays and so forth. So sleep is extremely important. Question from Petra Buchel from Instagram. Papa Swolio, what would be your best advice for a newbie to get fit? I would recommend starting with a basic strength program, and I would recommend starting with yoga. An elimination diet is also very effective to narrow down your nutrition. This is why, for those of you that are Swolenormous X members, and if you're curious and want to learn more, click in the links in the description down below. But in Swolenormous X, books. We have the Nutrition Jumpstart Manual, we have all the recipes, and we have the walkthrough step-by-step of the elimination diet. And that's the best way to determine your optimal foods. And that's from my experience. No expensive testing. You don't have to get all this blood work done. And not to say that those things aren't effective, but most people can't afford them or don't have access to them. So you can systematically eliminate certain foods and observe how they react with your body so you can improve your quality, and that will help you determine your quantity and what types of foods work best for your performance, for your sleep, just for your general lifestyle and your enjoyment. Question from Miss Dots. Papa Swolio, is it wrong to aim to be model skinny? Wrong is a very subjective word, okay? I don't think anyone should be model skinny, because if you're talking about classic model skinny, that's not a healthy body mass from all my experience. Whether you have a goal to go towards A direction or B direction, that's your goal, and what place is it of mind to tell you what you should achieve. But you should be going for health. And being model skinny is usually way too low body fat, way too low body mass, very low muscle mass too. It's not really a healthy approach. You're going to be under consuming calories, you're going to be under consuming nutrients, and if you're not doing strength training and mobility and eating properly, what's really the point of what I'm doing here? So I'm not going to encourage you to be model skinny, but it depends on what you really mean by model skinny, because some people think of models being more plus size nowadays, as we've talked about before. But if you're looking for that classic 70s, 80s, 90s supermodel, skinny, really frail, I don't recommend that. Question from Katie Bullen. Papa Swolio, what would be your best tip for a 15-year-old girl and a runner who wants to get into fitness? I'm too young to be allowed in my local gym, so I would be working out at home. That's interesting. I know a lot of people that are around 15 that are in gyms, so I'm sure it depends on the gym rule, but if you're under a certain age, maybe you can go with a parent or a guardian. So if you're working out at home, the best way to get into fitness, again, as per the previous message or the previous comment, would be to get into yoga. You don't need any equipment. You do it at home. It will teach you proper posture. It'll teach you proper muscle activation. It'll teach you proper balance and stability. And then from there, you can start with a home workout program. You can do the programming and training inside Swolenormous X or other programs, often from home with minimal equipment. So if you have equipment, you can do that. If you only have body weight, yoga is optimal. You can get bands, you can get weights at home. It depends on what you're able to have or what you're looking to purchase or invest in, because you can't go to a gym. I don't know what your parents are open to purchasing or if you have a workout space at home, but if you don't have any equipment, body weight exercises, yoga. Question from Taylor Francis. Papa Swolio, I am on a downward spiral towards diabetes due to being overweight and other health conditions. I need help with my addiction to bread. Any advice for a low-carb diet and lifting weights, because I love to lift? Thank you for your honesty. That's a very specific addiction. A low-carb diet's probably not going to help you, to be honest. If you're addicted to bread or you're addicted to heroin and you take it away, how well do you think that's going to work? You need a fundamental approach to your nutrition, to your training from a psychological standpoint. You need a strong community, people around you that are supporting you. You need to be on the same page with those that you hang around with, in your inner circle, with your family, with your friends. You need to carefully examine who you're spending time with and understand that if you just remove something that you are admittedly addicted to, you are going to have brutal cravings and it's going to be very, very uncomfortable. So chances are, my best recommendation, of course, whether or not you execute on this is up to you, but I recommend an elimination diet to figure out which foods your body responds best to. And usually when you start cutting down on carbohydrates, I personally find that upping my healthy fats are a great alternative, but that is not independent from an elimination diet. If you are not figuring out which foods are optimal for you, you don't know which foods to increase the quantity on. But if you're losing fat and cutting carbs, you'll see some positive changes right away. You'll flush some water, you might feel a little bit more clarity, but you're also going to have those cravings come back pretty fast. And bread is one of those, from my experience, higher glycemic carbohydrates that I don't consume, so you definitely don't need it. I don't care what anyone says, you don't need bread. You don't need grains. How do I know? I do not consume them, and I feel absolutely fucking amazing. So your addiction is based on habit, it's based on other triggers, and maybe your food choices in combination with the bread. People usually just don't have bread by itself. You're eating bread with other things. So you got to go to the source. And it's going to be a long process, and it's going to be something that you may struggle with. So it's important to have a strong community and people around you. If you're interested in joining our community, check it out, swolenormousx.com. And until then, check out my information on elimination diet and figuring out which foods work best for you. Good question. Question from Yuki Hata. Papa Swolio, what is your opinion on phytoestrogens in beans? I wouldn't know. I don't consume them. I don't like beans. I don't find that legumes are beneficial to me personally. I haven't had beans in a long time. I don't like lentil beans. I don't like red beans. I don't like kidney beans. I don't like black beans. I think they taste like shit. So I really don't like beans, period. And I'm thriving and have been thriving without them. So what's important to understand is you do not need to consume every single food group to get all your nutrients. We've learned this from veganism, we've learned this from carnivore, we've learned this from all the different styles of eating. Now, the problem with fad diets is that a lot of them really just take a stand and plant their flag against a specific nutrient. But just because there are these different categories doesn't mean that you have to cut out complete categories. Most people find, especially those that are in Swolenormous X, and you can comment below if you've had this experience, most people generally find they thrive more without beans. They're cheap, they're affordable, which is why they're popular. What else is new? If something is cheap, people like it. People clamor around it. But it doesn't mean that it's optimal for you. So getting gas, the classy, oh, I'm bloated, I'm gassy because of beans, that's not normal. That's your body having a poor reaction. So personally, I don't consume them. So I don't care about what's in them, phytoestrogens or not, I don't consume them, which probably kind of indirectly says that I don't recommend them. But I don't recommend them for me, and I don't promote them. But that's why the elimination diet is effective, because it helps you figure out which ones and which foods work best for you. Question from Chris Adson. Papa Swolio, I'm in the middle of my weight loss process. I eat in a caloric deficit. I lift and figure skate a few times a week in addition to 10 to 15,000 steps a day, but I'm struggling with abnormally low blood pressure. It's fine in everyday life, but it does sometimes affect my performance in the gym. Have I seen cases like this before? And would I recommend something outside targeted medication? You're talking about low blood pressure. I mean, that's automatic. Recommendation to your physician. I'm not going to speak on low blood pressure. I'm not a blood pressure expert. I know a lot of times improper salt intake, some things like Celtic sea salt might help raise low blood pressure or lower high blood pressure. Some quality minerals can create that kind of balance if you are having blood pressure issues based on an imbalance, but that's something that you're going to have to discuss with your physician why. There could be so many triggers for those types of things. It could be some kind of compounded issue from your lifestyle choices, could be dietary related, could be stress related. I'm not going to begin to guess on that, as a lot of bullshit fitness practitioners would try to give you a direct answer. You need to talk to your physician. I would do tons of research on my own, which, if any of you watching have any kind of personal health issue, research the fuck out of it. Do all the research you possibly can. I am one person, you are one person, and even a doctor is one person. We're all just accumulating knowledge and sharing it. So I will tell you if I have proper information. I'll also tell you if I don't have all the information. And with a specific issue like that will be based on your specific condition and your specific triggers, you got to go check with your physician for sure. Question from Aquathia. Papa Swolio, what if you already cut close to your BMR calories and now it doesn't work? I've been losing weight for the past year at a steady pace, but now I'm plateauing, normal. I wanted to get to 165 pounds, which I already achieved, but now I just want 5 pounds more, that's all. Why? You're gonna plateau. Weight loss is not linear. You're not always gonna lose weight. Your body needs nutrients. You might be eating too low, you might not be training properly, you might not be sleeping right, you could be eating inflammatory foods. Everything across the board, don't know what's going on. Nutrition is not just about counting calories. I'm tired of this macro bullshit. I'm tired about this plus and minus. Oh, are you over? Are you under? That is not the be all end all of health. And weight loss isn't directly equated to health. You need to be eating the right fucking foods. I challenge you and I encourage you, if you haven't yet, do an elimination diet, focus on food quality, and then come back to this calorie surplus or deficit. If you feel like shit, if you're not losing weight consistently, if your training's in a rut, if you're just not seeing progress, something has to change, and maybe you're not doing everything properly. There's so many different facets when it comes to exercise and nutrition, and so many subtleties, and your body is not the same every day. We're used to seeing things the same every day. My car starts, I'm watching this show at this time, and blah, blah. Your body is always fluctuating, constantly fluctuating. It's constantly up and down, and you're losing, you're gaining, you're drinking water, you have hydration, you're lower, you're dehydrated, your body's always adjusting. So understand that as you go through your day by day, it's really about what you're consuming over the course of several days, your exercise habits, your sleep, your hormone levels, a lot of different variables. So go back to the basics, focus on quality, and then come back to the quantity. Well, thank you so much, fam, for joining me for this episode of Ask Papa Swole. Remember, if you want daily broadcasts, the Daily Swole podcast live every single day over on the Daily Swole channel. If you want exclusive access to all the content inside Swole TV, all the private priority access broadcasts from the Daily Swole that are not streamed live, if you are a part of Swolenormous X, you get access to Swole TV and all the uncensored content, all the exclusive playlists, everything that we do inside Swolenormous X and inside Swole TV is for members only. So if you love this content, you want more, you want weekly live Q&As, weekly accountability meetings, all that good shit, check out Swolenormous X in the description down below, and let's prepare for the New Year's gym rush. Remember, if you want your question featured here on the show, drop your question in the comments below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I'll see you next time for the next episode. Peace the fuck out.
Hey, all of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swolio put nuts on they chin like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My Benny's are blue, but the product is gray. I'm dropping slappers to hell with an album. Might fuck around and go see Jimmy Fallon. I multiply while you bury.